In the early days of the epidemic, in the 1980s, a person would be diagnosed and then have maybe only 2 years of life left. Today, people are living virtually a normal lifespan because of the effective medications that we have today. Whereas before, HIV was called a death sentence, today, it's a life sentence. HIV today is a manageable chronic condition. TPN got started when there was a young gay man here in Chicago who was newly diagnosed, and he didn't know where to go to for information, resources, or just even support. What makes HIV so tricky is that it hijacks a person's own immune system to then just create more copies of itself. And as complicated as our immune system is, that kind of makes it difficult to fight the virus, but it also gives us opportunities at various points to fight the virus, to stop that duplication effort. That's why we have so many different drugs, is because these drugs fight the virus at various points in the reproduction process.
The search for a cure began in earnest shortly after the HIV epidemic started. And over the last 4+ decades, more than 84 million people around the world have been diagnosed with the virus. Yet, we still don't have a cure or a 100% effective form of prevention.
We are used to, historically, an infectious disease occurring, and in addition to looking for treatments, medication treatments, to looking for preventive vaccines. This was true for measles and mumps and rubella and polio and chickenpox, whooping cough, other types of childhood diseases. So we're talking about two different types of vaccines. Protection for people not infected but who are at risk, and two, of types of vaccines that are therapeutic that would be of assistance to the immune system and of an already infected person with HIV. This sounded on paper 20, 30 years ago like it could be easier than it's turned out to be. One of the vaccine candidates that was in clinical trials has turned out not to be nearly as effective. This is at least the third or fourth such vaccine candidate that has proven not to do what we would like it to do.
He's talking about Mosaico. The trial was a partnership between the US government and the pharmaceutical company Janssen. In January of 2023, researchers announced they were ending their clinical trial after finding the vaccine did not reduce a person's risk of getting HIV compared to the placebo. It was a blow to the research community, but not the end of the line for finding a vaccine.
We've learned something from that, and scientists will take what they've learned and work towards the next solution. There are other vaccines being studied, but those are in early development.
We always hope for the best, but the difference now than, say, 20 or 30, even 40 years ago is that the treatments we have for HIV, the antivirals, suppress the virus, maintain a healthy immune system, keep an individual from transmitting HIV sexually, have resulted in a functional cure. There are at least 3 different commercial products now out there available for the prevention of HIV. A pre-exposure prophylaxis for HIV involves a pill a day or an injection every 2 months of a single drug. And these are great. These make it easy.
Other sex-related HIV prevention tools include antiretroviral infused vaginal rings, and of course, condoms.
The fight continues, and it's just going to get better. The paradigm is changing. So it's like what my best friend said at the time, almost 30 years ago, when I told him that I'm living with HIV. He said, well, that's your strategy. All you have to do is hold out until the next development.